and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda of the June 17th regular meeting as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is the election of the secretary.
Move to elect Terry McDaniel by acclamation as Secretary of the Board of Education for the 2013-14 school year.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Terry.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the appointment of the treasurer.
I move to appoint Sharon K. Shearer of First Bank of St. Genevieve as the treasurer for the Board of Education for the 2013-14 school year.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the approval of the consent agenda items.
Move to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is public participation. Is anyone out there? It's okay.
There's no one out there.
Right. We will move to the report of the superintendent. Mrs. Jokers?
Yes, let me get to that spot.
Okay.
I keep turning pages. Y'all are fast today. As you notice, we have a variety of notes of thanks. Many of them are for scholarships that were awarded to our students, and we're very proud to be able to do that, and also very pleased that they are courteous and mannerly enough to send the thank you notes. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the high school staff who helps remind them to do so.
Right.
Also, many of those are notes of thanks from families of our school family that have lost loved ones, and we want to at this time take a second and acknowledge the fact that our school family has lost 3 children. One was an alumni of 2012, Miss Paige Johnson, and her 2 younger brothers, Lucas Welton and Clayton Grass, and the school family grieves with their family. We know it's hard, and we will be certainly watching the siblings who are still here at school and helping them as they need it. So, been a hard day, and will continue to be a hard week as we go through the rest of those ceremonies and spend time with that family. Just a note there also from Fowler Bus on the motor vehicle inspection that they had a 100% pass rate, which is phenomenal. And you can see the letter from the Missouri State Highway Patrol that that says that their inspection is now complete, and the statewide average is 88%, and our local bus fleet is at 100% approved. So that's something to be very proud of. The next thing that you have there is the music, which is our Missouri United School Insurance Consortium, and that basically is a reflection of our liability insurance that we carry and the different areas of coverage and claims that we have. And you'll notice there's a red line and a blue line. The red line is all the members of music across the state, so all the schools that carry this coverage. And the blue line is St. Genevieve School District. And you can tell that on almost all of those, on the first page, except for about one area, we fall under, well under in some cases, the state average for that particular area of liability. We had a small increase in general liability in 2012, and basically that's a reflection of growth of our number of buildings and the number of liabilities that we have because of having more space covered. So that's not a bad thing in any way. And if you look further on, the only area that we really had a jump in, you'll notice on the second page there, is average reporting lag time. And apparently we got a lot slower in our reporting than we have been in the past. And Althea and I have determined it's because we're new, and we'll get better at it as we go along. So we'll try to do better. That's all we can say. But you'll see then the last page has to do with workers' compensation, and our claims are staying down there as well. We have a little uptick in custodial, and you know that's just time to time you have an injury or something like that that we're paying out of workers' comp claim. So nothing major though, very small increases when there are any at all. Questions over that? That last page gives you a little bit of a verbiage on the explanation of the report, so if you had something there. Oops. I'm sorry, I skipped some things on the superintendent's report because I wasn't looking at the agenda. Thank you, Dr. Lindsay. I'm going to pass it off to you and let you talk about summer school for a minute, and then I'll come back with the rest of that stuff.
Summer school has begun. We're about halfway through with the high school program. We currently have 33 students that are in the credit recovery program at the high school. We have 2 full-time equivalent teachers that are working with those students. The first semester ended this past Friday, and we had 8 students that recovered credit in English 1 through 4, and we had 7 students that recovered credit in Algebra 1. And then the second semester began this morning, and we have 18 students enrolled for second semester. We also have extended school year services that are going on for students in the Challenge program. There's 44 students enrolled in that program, and we have 6 full-time equivalent instructors that are working with those students.
Okay, a couple other things on the superintendent's report. I'm sorry about that. I got a little out of order there. We've already actually started gathering information for the auditors. They sent us their first list of things they would like to have us pull and have ready for them. Our first dates for their visit are July 17 and 18, and this is, they're not actually going to be on site. They're going to be working virtually, if you will, digitally with our information that we will send them, and they'll work from the office. And so basically they asked for us to be on site and available if they have questions on those 2 days. So we're already compiling the list of information that they want us to send them. And then August 21 and 22, they will be here on site, at least the 21st, and if necessary, part of the 22nd. Summer maintenance and housekeeping, things are going actually pretty quickly. Keith feels like that we're getting a lot done fairly rapidly. The housekeeping staff is moving through the classrooms very, very well. Nancy has a great group of kids that are working with her, and they're getting a lot of stuff done, and they've been able to help Miss Staffen as she gets settled into the library as well. So that's been great help. I know they have started out at Bloomsdale. We were having to dig out the lagoon. It's time for that, so they've got that going. We're also seeking bids out there to dig the extension of the parking lot to widen that gravel area because the PTO had requested that, and so we're talking with the folks that they asked us to speak with, and we've already been told we have some donations of rock, but we'll need people to haul, and so we're working with some bids on those things out there. Things are going pretty quickly and very well at this point, so I appreciate all the work on that. The MSBA Fall Conference is, we are all duly registered. We have hotel rooms, not necessarily on site because we were already on the wait list by the time, Regina got on that registration immediately as soon as it opened, and we were number 7 on the wait list. So they tell us though that with the number of cancellations they normally have, there should be no problem in us having rooms on site. We, just as a backup and a precaution, have also booked rooms elsewhere just to make sure that we have rooms. And so we'll take a look at that as it gets a little closer and cancel as we need to, wherever.
What are the dates?
Dates were October
First, second, third?
3 through 6.
No, 3.
It's the first week in October, that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mr. Rudolph, you have a room for an extra night, so that you can do the new board member training. Okay, now I think I'm done, and I actually have already done the review on unfinished business as well, so we're just moving right along.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Back to the bus.
Yes, sir.
Just a compliment to those people, because
Oh, yeah.
how large is our area?
We have a large fleet. You notice the number of buses that it mentioned, on there was 35, I believe. That's quite large.
Geographically.
And we do run a huge geographic area. It's probably within the top 10 geographically in the state. So, yeah, it's a very good it's a large credit to those guys who take care of us out there, and the mechanics and to Buck to keep things up to ship shape.
Does anyone else have any
And we're not
questions?
all interstate highway.
Right.
No.
Thank goodness.
There's a multiplicity of gravel and
Whatever.
one lane and all
Right.
low water bridges.
Just have to worry about the rain.
Right.
Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. First was music annual benchmark report, and Ms. Jokers gave us that. So we'll move on to the update job description.
We have 3 job descriptions there that we just really didn't have. We had custodial, but we didn't have a job description for the lead custodian. So we kind of did a combination of what used to be our housekeeping supervisor. We used to have that position as a separate position, and so we looked at that, and then just the regular custodian, and so we kind of put some things together there to have a little bit more structure in what that job is supposed to be. Athletic trainer, you'll know we added that position, but we talked about at that time that we wanted to let Jess kind of do the position, and her and Jeff worked together then to come up with this job description, and so they both feel like that describes very well what they want her to do. And then the Performing Arts Center coordinator, that has been something that has evolved as well, and Melissa has reviewed this, and we both feel pretty comfortable that this outlines generally what her job is. Melissa is very detail oriented, and so she goes way above and beyond what you see written down here, and to make sure that everything works smoothly. So I would ask that you would approve those 3 additions to our job description manual.
Move to approve the job descriptions as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, we'll move on to new business. Adopt the budget for 2013-14.
At this point, we are going to do what we have done several times in the past few years, as the legislature is less and less able to come to some agreement before the end of May, and our local assessor is very conscientious about making sure that all of the I's are dotted and T's are crossed in her role as well. And so we're still waiting on figures for new local money. And so we will roll forward our amended budget, the one that you approved in February. And I believe you all have a copy of that. That's why I didn't include that. And I think Mr. Rudloff, you got a copy of it then as well. So at this point, we are required by law to have a budget approved so that we can expend funds come July 1, and this will allow us to do that. I will bring back to you in July the first amended budget for the coming year.
Move to approve the present budget as the budget for the 2013-14 school year.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Mr. McDaniel.
I move that the Board of Education hold a closed meeting with a closed record and closed vote following the regular open meeting on July 15, 2013, to to be held in the R.W. Thomas Library, 715 Washington Street, St. Genevieve, Missouri, for the purpose of discussing and voting upon the following items of business: legal action, causes of action, or litigation; lease, purchase, or sale of real estate; hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting particular employees; scholastic probation, expulsion, or graduation of identifiable individuals; testing, and examination materials; preparation for negotiation with employee groups; specification for competitive bidding until approved or published; sealed bids and related documents until the bids are open; sealed proposals and related documents until all proposals are rejected, or any documents related to a negotiated contract until a contract is executed; individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment; records protected from disclosure by law; records relating to municipal hotlines established for the reporting of abuse and wrongdoing; confidential or privileged communication with an auditor; existing or proposed security systems and structural plans of district property; records that identify and would allow unauthorized access to or unlawful disruption of the configuration of components of the operation of a computer system, computer network, or telecommunications network; credit card numbers, personal identification numbers, digital certificates, physical or virtual keys, access codes, or authorization codes that are used to protect electronic transactions. I further move that notice of this meeting and its tentative agenda be posted as required by law.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call. Eric Bosler?
Yes.
David Wolba?
Yes.
Charlie Crowther?
Yes.
Joe Jones is absent. Yeah. Okay. Rick Rudolph?
Here.
Here. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Terry McDaniel, yes. Martha Reesinger?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Need a motion?
I move to go to closed session with a closed record and a closed vote after a short break.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?